Hey team, Jen here. We are in our penultimate week of the course here at week 7, our second to last week. And this week is such an important week. I want to begin this week's video by thanking you so much for your efforts. I realize that a literature course requires a lot of reading and a lot of writing, critical thinking, and these actions are not always comfortable or familiar for students. And I think that many of you in this class have really risen to the challenge presented in the readings and the assignments. So I wanted to thank you for your hard work. As usual, I want to spend a little bit of time reflecting on the weeks that came before and offering you some insights into this week. In week 6, I think it was a fairly easy week compared to the weeks that have come before. It gave you a little bit of a chance to catch your breath. I do want to make a note about the forums just to make sure that you know that it's important that you always stay on track with posting those main posts on time. You need to post those main posts by midnight on Thursday. And if you don't do that, you do lose a lot of points. Also, keep in mind that every main post needs a works cited entry that is part of your mechanics grade. So you are marked down quite a bit if that is missing as well. I have been reminding students of this throughout the term, but I'm also still seeing some of this error happening even as we're closing in on the last couple weeks. With 2 more forums left, I want to just articulate the importance of making sure that all your ducks are in a row. It does make a big difference for your final grade. Here in week 7, we're tackling some texts that are considered to be quintessential American texts. We're reading big hitter names like Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville and Walton Whitman. Just a fantastic lineup of white males who really do drive the contemporary conception of 19th century American literature, for better or for worse. The work that I chose by Poe, I ask you to do a discussion board post on, and this discussion board post should be very fun. I'm asking you to do a little bit of exploratory research, trying to connect the protagonist in Ligeia to lore, mythology, to creatures that you can find through research that seem to portray her body or her state of mind or her representation in this short story. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to see your responses. The second part of your response this week asks you to do something that I think is really important at this point in the course, and that is to synthesize the readings that we're doing with readings that came before. So showing that the readings that we've done in the past have currency or relevance for the readings that we're doing now. That's one of the most important aspects, I think, of moving forward in any course, is seeing how what came before is important, right? It can help us to make observations about what's currently on the table. So the second part of your forum post in week 7 is for you to synthesize some of the readings from this week, your choice, with the Transcendentalist movement. Are you seeing any threads there in terms of how authors here are adhering to some of those values or some of those moves, and also if they seem to be resisting or challenging any of those ideas? So I'm really excited about both of those prompts for this week, and I hope that you are too. In week 7, you have your response paper. And by this point in the term, I feel that you've received enough feedback from me on your quizzes and on your papers, on your midterm exam, so that you should know a lot by this point about how to write these papers. I've been offering every week supplementary videos, which are designed to explain some of the key moves that go into writing this kind of tricky genre. So if you have some questions, now is the time to go back, maybe visit my writing overview series on YouTube, which I designed just for my students, just so that I can help them to get insights into what these key moves are. Go back and revisit anything that raises questions for you. And feel free to come to my online office hours as well, where we can talk it out. For this week, you have three choices to choose from for your paper. I am asking you to write a 5 to 7 page paper. And for some students, my goodness, that is really, really daunting, right? That can seem like a long length. Um, but the three options that I give you, they should provide you with the kind of ideas and content that can drive that kind of line of inquiry. If you have questions, I love to meet with students during office hours through Skype or Hangouts or Adobe Connect or whatever you want to use. We can really flesh out the particulars of how you want to approach this paper. You can talk about your ideas. I'm actually very good with guiding students from ideas that they feel are really insignificant or not worthy enough to create a 5 to 7 page paper, and helping them work through those ideas until suddenly they have plenty of ideas to write like a 20 page paper. So utilize me this week if you feel like you are intimidated by this assignment. Otherwise, all we have left to do is look forward to week 8. In module 8, you will be having a final examination. And so, in maybe the tail end of week 7, it could be a good idea for you to start that critical synthesis. I will let you know that the final exam is going to definitely be asking you to synthesize texts. So, to put them in communication with each other across the trajectory of what we've read this term. I hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you here for one more time next week for our last week. Have a wonderful week 7, guys.